I just got in last night from Taipei, and I have to say I'm really excited to be here. Beforehand, Derek briefed me, said this is one of the fastest growing regions in the world business-wise, not just only for Google, but for all sorts of online businesses. And working on Android, I'm very, very excited to be here to also learn about what are the things that you guys care about, what are the questions that you guys are asking, and what sorts of technologies that you're innovating on. I just have a few things I wanted to show today, and so hopefully to give you a sense of the types of innovations that we're doing and driving here at Google. Working on Android, I think what is most interesting to me is when I hear about Android and people talk about innovation, there's all sorts of definitions for innovation. So what is innovation really? So when we think about innovation, we think about open. And I know open is a word that gets tossed around a lot, but when we talk about Android, it being open, I think what it really boils down to is it's a system that everyone can benefit from, whether you're a hardware manufacturer, whether you're an application developer, whether you're an advertiser, small business owner. Because the system is open, you're able to find the place where you can provide value, and at the same time you can extract value from it. So to make it kind of interesting, so I think like Julian has already alluded to, we have now Android on phones, we have Android on TVs. Soon we're going to have, hopefully, Android on tablets and all sorts of other form factors. But let's look at some other things. So I was actually just looking around the web just a couple of days before I came down. I said, oh, hey, this looks like a normal-looking washer. But you get in closer, it's like, wow, this is a pretty smart-looking washer. I've never thought I was going to need so many buttons and a touchscreen, but what do you know? If you put Android on a washer, this is what you get. Or, I always wanted to look at the world map while I'm waiting for my popcorn to pop in my microwave. And while I'm at it, maybe I'll listen to some Coldplay or something else from Pandora. So, who would have thought, right? Put Android on the microwave. Maybe next time it'll notify me when I leave something in there for too long, it starts to burn. So, what about this? Hey, that's a pretty good-looking phone. I think I've seen that before. But something's not quite right. Or maybe we can make it a little bit better. Oh, that feels a little bit better to me now. So, no, obviously, our friends in Cupertino build great phones. We like the product. I think there's a lot of innovation in this space. But the point that I'm really trying to illustrate here is, to us, innovation is when people take something you've built and do things with it that you never even thought they would imagine doing. For example, putting it on an iPhone. When we put Android out there, we had never thought, wow, somebody's going to hack an iPhone and put Android on it. But some guys went out there and did. And who knows? In the future, people might be putting it into cars and, I don't know, into your camera and all sorts of other things. Maybe it'll be my shoe someday, telling me how I should walk and where I should go. So I think these are just like fun little examples to illustrate how open the innovation, the system is, and how we're really getting innovation from everyone. So the next thing then I want to quickly kind of recap is now we're at the end of the year. And typically at the end of the year, we just like to take a look back at this year and see what we've done, how far we've come. And you've already heard some stats already, but just to put into perspective, we are now at over 95 compatible devices for Android, whereas about 2 years ago we had 0. So that's really phenomenal if you're thinking like 50 new phones or 50 new types of devices are hitting the market each year that all run Android. Obviously, these stats you might have heard, 100,000 apps, 200,000 activations a day. To put that into perspective, again, at this rate, you're looking at something like 60 or 70 million Android phones a year hitting worldwide. And this is a place where we're talking, if you look at the growth rate, it's really, really phenomenal compared to the existing growth rate of feature phones and so forth. Another really interesting fact that we like to think about is when we launched our Map app, and we had set a goal for ourselves, which was by the end of this year, we want to have 1 billion kilometers like navigated, so used by our users and navigated. So we had actually hit that goal and exceeded it before we even reached the middle of the year. So now we're at about 2 billion kilometers navigated total this year. So again, breaking that down, this is something like, when I calculated, something like 2,000 kilometers navigated a minute, or something like that, which is again really, really phenomenal. That's like people worldwide using Google Maps every day right now, just driving all over the place and looking at where they're going. So these types of stats are really what we see the growth of Android, and of course, again, a lot more searches when you take the usage of a smartphone and compare that to average users of feature phones and even some of the folks who don't have phones out there. On average, it comes out to be about 1 user is equivalent to like 750 users out there, which is again really, really phenomenal if you think about the amount of time and the amount of attention you can get from them. So what do all these stats mean? So I've just thrown a bunch of numbers at you. But I think for us, at least when we look at this, we see 3 big trends. And those are the 3 things I want to share with you today. The 3 trends that we think is going to really drive innovation in mobile going forward. And of course, we would love to hear from you too on your thoughts. The first trend is really cloud. And everybody talks about cloud, cloud, cloud. So what is cloud really? Cloud is the fact that your phone can work seamlessly with invisible cloud to the user most of the time, but it really means that they have access to their data and their application anywhere they are. And so the phone is not just limited by what packs into this. It's not limited by the processor, by the memory, but it has access to all the rich resources of the cloud. So I'm going to give some demos. So the first thing I want to demonstrate is how the phone can work seamlessly to just look at some content in the cloud. It's a pretty simple concept. So for example, here are all the Google documents my coworkers share with me. And if I look at the top, hey, there's something from Derek. I think I'm supposed to speak somewhere today. And so I can click on that and open it up. And for a mobile user, this is as if they're looking at it from the phone, but it's actually all pulled from the web. And so we can see the rundown for today. And not only can I do that, if I wanted to, I could actually edit this if I wanted to. So this is a very simple use case of how now this phone can have access to tons of documents you don't have to store on the phone, have access to all these use cases and applications that's not stored on the phone. Another example I'd like to demonstrate is, what I'm about to show you is the infrastructure we built for Android, again, that allows the cloud to talk seamlessly to devices. You can just think of it as a way where basically as a business owner, as a website owner, as an application developer, you have a way to message individual phones and tell them, share with them some content, have them do something, or look at something interesting. So one example here is, let's say I'm looking at some video online, and so, for example, I'm just looking at some Harry Potter trailer that is just playing, and I can look at it, and it's great, but then I realize, oh shoot, I have to be here this afternoon. I have to go to this talk. So what would I do? So what you can do is, we have a little extension called Chrome to Phone, which basically utilizes this technology. And what it does is, if you just install this plugin, and you click on this, it'll basically take whatever you're looking at in the browser and send it directly to my phone. So for example, if I was to do that just now, and I will be able to pull that up on my phone, and I will be able to look at the video and see it run. And the really power behind that is so that you can see how if I'm able to message this phone. Right. So here we go. Now I can be out the door or sitting in MRT on my way here, but still be watching this video. Yeah. So, okay, well I'm going to stop this but what I'm illustrating to you is now think about it. If you're a business owner, if you're an advertiser, think about now what you can do. You don't lose your audience when they leave the TV. You don't lose your audience when they leave the website, right? You can now send this content to them and you can target it. So if, of course, they have to opt in and do things like that, but these are the kind of basic building blocks we're building in that empowers the ecosystem that we hope for you to innovate upon. So that was the first trend. I think, again, it's the cloud infrastructure we're building, and it's open for everyone to take advantage of. The next thing I would like to go to, if we were talking about senses, what that really means is how a phone is an extension of your senses. Now, the phone can see what you can see, it can hear what you can hear, it can speak to you, but it can do more than just that. It can augment that with all of the data in the cloud and all the intelligence in the cloud. So one example is, again, I'm a new visitor to Singapore. I haven't been here before. I go out walking around at night. So I see, oh wow, this is a really beautiful looking statue. So, but I don't know what it is. And I don't know why it's here. So what I could do is then I could take a picture of it. Okay. So can you cut to the, right? So it takes a little while to cut back and forth, but you can see that it's actually scanning this image in real time. And as it scans this image in real time, it's able to analyze it and figure it out that, hey, this is the Merlion from Singapore. And I'm able to pull that up. And it's able to show me where it is on the map. It shows me the Wikipedia article, all the web search results, and everything. So again, this is the kind of platform technology we're building it in. And we're going to open up these up as APIs or as other tools, plugins for you to use to innovate upon. So you can think about all the interesting applications from it. And I know we have some advertisers in the room, so I bet the next thing you're thinking of was, gosh, can I use this in an ad? And you're going to have some more demos later on, but I'll do another quick one here is, let's say I'm looking at a car magazine because, gosh, I'm a guy, I like cars. And I see this, hey, this is a pretty good looking car. So again, I can take a picture of this. And now it pulls up the ad in real time. Again, it's from Buick Regal. It's a cooperation we're doing with them in the ad experiment. So now, it's not just a dead paper ad to me anymore. It's actually something I can dig into, and I can see, I can look up specs about the car. I can find out where my local dealers is. I can perhaps see if I want to schedule for a test drive or something like that. So if you think about it this way, it's really enabling you to find the story behind every object in the world. So that's a really cool, very powerful concept. With a phone, that's an extension of the senses. So this is an extension of vision, obviously. So you can see the object, and then now you can add all this interesting content behind it. So that's one example of vision. Then the next thing I want to talk about is speech. We have something like voice search where you're able to search by voice, but now we're integrating it even tighter into the phone functionality. So for example, as I was telling you, I just got into Singapore last night, so the first thing you do is look for your hotel, right? So what would I do if I had an Android phone? Navigate to M Hotel Singapore. So notice how it's integrated into the phone, and there's actually a lot of things happening here, which is really intricate, and it happens very quickly. So first, it has to recognize that I want to navigate. So it finds the Maps app and pulls that up. Next, it recognizes the entity I'm looking for, M Hotel in Singapore. Next, it will pull that up and use the GPS because it knows where I am. And so now you can start navigating right away. And I can now, well, later on I can use this to go home, or at least perhaps make sure the cab driver doesn't take me on a long route or something like that. So there's actually a lot of things happening here that happens very seamlessly for the user here. And so this is why we think this is really exciting. So this is an application of speech combined with navigation. So how about speech and something else? Let's say now I'm in my car, and I want to go meet my friend, but I'm running late. So I want to go send him a message, but I'm a good driver, so I don't take it out and text him instead. And instead, I'm going to be a good driver, and but I still want to message him. So what could I do? So I could do something like this. Send an email to Eric Chen. Sorry, man, running a little late. Be there soon. So again, all of this is tied into the operating system itself. So notice how it knows to pull up email. Notice how it knows to interpret my text. It knows where to put it. And it even gives me the affordance to be able to fix it if I typed it wrong or something like that. So, and then these voice actions are not limited to the applications I just talked about. They're actually baked in throughout the system. You can use it to play music. You can use it to, again, navigate, rate things, open up web pages, all sorts of things like that. So these are hooks that we're building into mobile, and we really see users will begin to think of a mobile phone as an extension of their senses, which we think is really exciting and really, really powerful. And the last thing I want to talk about is actually the trend is location and social. So we all hear about that a lot. We all hear about, yeah, social is going to be big, mobile is going to be big, location is going to be big. So what is it really? One example of it, I think, is when you start to tie these interesting things together into your application. So you not only know what you like as a user, I know about you, I also know what your friends like and where you are. So interesting things then can be done. I'll just illustrate that with our Maps app, which we launched recently in combination with a feature called Hot. It's basically a recommendation engine. But this is something that I could do with that. So suppose that I'm in a new area and I want to go look for Jewish food in Mountain View because, hey, I'm a Jewish food connoisseur. Obviously look at me. And so, of course, they show you the typical maps results that you get, right? It's great. These things look nice. But as I scroll down this, notice some interesting, very subtle, but very interesting things happening. Is if I look at one of these, not this one, kitchen table, it will actually call out to me that, in addition to the reviewers from the web, that my friend Lior has actually rated this before, and actually showed me his comments. So, and I know Lior. Lior's a good friend, and he's Jewish. So, I think he says it doesn't sound very good. So, maybe it's not a place I want to go check out then. So this is very subtle, but you can already see how we can tie these kind of signals together. So you can imagine, again, if your potential customer or user is now looking at a product online, if they see a shoe, or they see a book, or they see something else, they could start to see also interesting comments from their friends. How many of their friends liked it? How many of their friends recommended it? Can you refer it to your friend? Maybe you get some points. So we're all building all of this infrastructure, and again, to allow application developers to take advantage of this. And of course, I can go down and I can edit this, and I say, yeah, the food really wasn't very good, service was okay, and so on and so forth, and I could update it. And now this feeds back into the system so that my friends will start to know what are my tastes and my preferences. So, so we think this is, again, another really interesting idea that is really growing in this area, and it's going to make mobile very, very interesting. So the three trends that we think are really exciting is, again, the first one, we talked about the cloud. And hopefully we gave you some examples of that, and you're going to see some great demos later on of how people are utilizing mobile and the cloud together. Then the second thing was the extension or augmentation of your senses. So the phone, being a device, it understands what you speak, it knows what you're seeing, it understands what you're hearing, and is able to complement that with all of this rich content and data. So we think that's really, really exciting. And again, there are all sorts of fantastic experimentations you can do with ads in this space. And I think, again, you'll see some great examples later on. And then this last thing is the integration with social and mobile. So I showed you one example, and obviously there are lots of companies playing this space, Foursquare, Koala, Facebook, so on and so forth. So everybody knows it's going to be big. I think the differentiation that Google or Android offers is that because it's an open system, it's one that everybody can benefit. So you're not locked into one solution. You're not locked into one ad provider. You're not locked into one device, one OEM, one carrier. And that's where we really come back to the big theme of open. What did open mean? Well, open means everybody can innovate on top of it. Everybody can benefit from it. And I also look forward to maybe talking to some of you guys later on and to learn what you guys think about, what's interesting, what's really innovative in your regions, and what are some of the challenges you're facing.